Countdown is on. You got the streams up?
Streaming 440.
Okay, cool. I forgot
Live,
I forgot the
4:30.
audio's actually still on.
Oh, so
Hey, there it
like
goes.
we're just talking and there's a
Yeah.
please wait.
I figured it was a little bit better than having, just a 5-minute please wait thing.
We need like hold music.
Or, we need like a chiptune version of the theme.
Yes. What was oh yeah, Night of the Roxbury, where they had the elevator version of that What Is Love song.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
Where's your watch? No.
Shaw just messaged you going, BS, everyone knows you get 5G after your first vaccine. You get impotence after your second.
Is it true that if you don't use it, you lose it? Okay, where's my Boards and Swords live notification?
What are you talking
On
about?
Facebook.
I just got one.
What is that? Is that in groups?
Yes, I want to notify 26 people across 5 time zones.
Do it. Okay, yes, but shouldn't the group that I'm part of be like top thing I see?
Oh, we didn't get nominated for a Golden Geek Award. It was a stretch.
Well, that's it. Pack it in.
Pack it in. It's all over. Show's over.
Yeah. I had to find it the long way.
Oh, did I show you my anniversary gift to myself?
No.
Here, I'll send it to you on Messenger.
Oh, that big.
The Team Covenant boards. So the right 2 are for like Arkham Horror, and I got some Arkham Horror tokens. The left 2 are for Marvel Champions. I got 2 because I'm gonna use
Champions. What?
Yeah, I got 2 because I'm gonna use. Let me flip the screen on here. I got 2 because I'm gonna use the one for the bad guy and one for the main scheme or whatever.
Okay.
Wow. And then you put the tokens for like how much damage or threat they have on them.
Oh. Yep.
What?
I'm hearing myself.
Is that a bad thing?
Well,
No, I mean.
yeah, I'm here. I'm hearing me through you.
Oh, okay.
But it's always just like the end. Dot.
Just...
Yeah, it's gone now. Honestly, that's what it was. It was like the last sort of loud.
That's funny. I was about to look. I was like, "Are you sure it's not one of your tabs or something?"
Nope, those are muted.
I don't know, because there shouldn't be.
You don't mute the video. That way, you're still a viewer.
Yep.
That's how Twitch.
That's how it be. Why did it? The heck? There it goes. The Google or the Synergy just like crapped out for a minute.
I'm adding another news article.
Oh no. Yes. Did you hear who won?
A guy named Josh.
No, it was like a 5-year-old that named Josh.
Oh, I thought one of the memes was like the real winner was the hospital they're donating the money to.
Oh, I didn't realize. I didn't hear about this until like earlier this month when like all the like meme pages on Reddit just could not stop talking about it.
Well, yeah, because like and so yesterday there was supposed to be a bad thing that was going to happen yesterday. Did you hear about all that stuff?
No.
It was supposed to be like supposed to be like a lot of domestic violence against women.
Oh.
Was supposed to be, and it was going all over all the TikTok.
No, I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, that was all over the place. And then like a day later, I see this like with all the timestamps from 2020. It's like, all right, in 1 year we're gonna meet up.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so this is I'd like this good thing to happen yesterday instead of that bad thing happening.
Yeah. I mean, there's still like that was probably a lot of people for where we are in the pandemic, but oh well, they took their own help.
I see a good handful of masks.
Yeah. But it's like you're taking your life, like you're mitigating the risk or whatever.
Oh,
hey, Hoser 40K is online.
The guy he's got it attached to a power drill.
Oh, hold on.
He's got 2.
Is this in the article?
Yes, it's the first picture.
Hold on. Let me get it so that people can actually see. Oh, come on. Please allow ads. Stop it.
No, we don't want your stupid ads. Washington Post is being a pain in the ass because apparently I looked at my 4 articles for free for life. And now I can never.
It's like when I look at ad block and it's like I've blocked like 25 ads. I'm like, this is why I have ad block. All right, so where were you talking about?
What the guy right there in the black coat?
Oh, he's got the drill. I see it now.
He's got 2 of them on power drills. So awesome.
That is great. Oh man. Yeah, there was did they
Wait, what is this guy behind them? He's like the soda warrior. He's wearing soda box armor.
Heck yeah, he's going end of times zombie armor.
He was trying to go for a sponsorship deal.
Oh yeah, there was a 4-year-old with a red nude. Joshua Vincent Jr. was the ultimate Josh.
There we go.
And video of the scene showed a chaotic Josh for all. Did they say how many total people came in? How many total people there was? Hundreds, they said.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people.
I love the Facebook post. Group chat with Josh.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's what you're talking about, the screenshot.
Yeah.
You're probably wondering why I've all gathered you here today. Oh, man. All right, we ready for some showtime?
Yes.
Okay, let's get this pig started. All right. Start the show in 3, 2, 1. Thanks to everyone who supported us over at patreon.com/boardsandSwords. Check it out if you want additional content like the pre-show, post-show clips. It is Sunday, April 25th, and you're listening to Boards and Swords. Woohoo! I just feel like I have to dance in front of the camera.
Well, this is the wrong song for that dance.
Right. But then Beetle will make gifs of me doing that. That's right, everyone. Welcome to Boards and Swords. This is a podcast. We got 3 things for you. We got bad jokes. We got some good folks. And then there's that third thing. Phil, what's that third thing?
It's a mystery thing that we'll use later.
Sheets hot dogs. I think that's what it is. That's the third thing, right?
Yes.
No, it's games. We got to talk about games.
No, because now I got to drive like 3 miles to go get my Sheets hot dogs. Man, that's crap.
Oh, because the one down the road from you.
Because it's under construction, man.
Hey, I think they're going to make it bigger, though, that where they have like the restaurant inside, like seating.
Ooh. With limited capacity.
Only for now. They're prepping so that when it opens up, they'll be able to.
Right. They can just, bam, handle the customers.
Yeah, that's like we were talking about. So I found out on Facebook. So our local store decided on April Fool's Day to announce that they were opening up a bistro next door. And they kept saying it wasn't April Fool's joke, but at the same time it was like, is that just a bigger part of the April Fool's joke?
Hey,
but you're getting my hopes up here.
Chris.
What?
What type of local store?
The local game store.
Okay, gotcha. We were talking about a gas station, not 30 seconds.
Well, okay. Fair point. But our local game store is going to be opening up. They're calling it Bard's Bistro.
Okay.
But after the first, I didn't hear anything. So I was like, was this just a big April Fool's joke? Until I finally heard, like, when looking through some of the groups, because they're talking about when they could start doing games again and this and that. It looks like they're talking like they're planning for like a September opening-ish. I think that's when they're going to be able to get in there. So some point in there, and I was talking to Ashley yesterday, and I was like, you know what? That's actually good timing, because that'll be about when we're really wanting to start getting out more and people going into restaurants more, kind of thing. Like that's a pretty good time for opening up a business like that. But I don't even think I started saying. I think I started right into the show without saying, I'm your host. My name's Chris Renshaw, and then the other guy on the phone here, that's Mr. Philip Herbig. How's it going?
What's going on, everybody?
The other guy that's over here hankering for some hot dogs now.
I just want some that are close by.
I mean,
when that 7-Eleven opens up near my work, oh my god!
You got a sheet? I mean, the other Sheets is right there by your work.
Yeah, but the 7-Eleven's gonna be closer.
True. And technically, you got the Checkers right there by your house. You can get hot dogs from there.
Yeah, but I can't get pretzel.
Oh, darn.
I know. First world problem.
Well, Wawa, you can actually have it like delivered out to your car sometimes. If you get stuff ordered like from the actual like cafe.
Oh, that's right. You ordered on the app.
Yeah.
That's right, because they got the posts are
all numbered.
Yeah. I just walk in anyway.
True. Well, so here's the thing. I was driving home one day, and I swear we'll get to games here in a second. I was driving home because I actually had to go into the office for something, and it was a really stressful day, and I was pulling up the app, and the app was like, because I was just going to I need to get something. and I pulled up the app, and it was like, hey, you can get a free icy. And I was like, hell yeah, that sounds exactly what I need right now. And then I punched it in, and I was like, okay, I'll just pull up. They'll come out and grab it, and then I'll go in. And then it's like, okay, now you got 15 minutes to show this to the cashier. I was like, no!
Oh,
So I have to. So I'm like having it up in the corner as I'm like trying to drive, the speed limit, but get there as soon as I can, kind of thing. I managed to redeem it with like 3 minutes left.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. But with that, let's flip to some news. Alrighty, I gotta flip over here. So I've got a couple of news items here because it's been like a month. First off, sorry about that, but we had some issues there. So I hope everybody enjoyed the kind of preview of what we send out every week or every other week to the Patreon backers there. But so first things up, we have a new Kickstarter that has stormed its way up the charts. We got the X-Men joining Marvel Unlimited, the latest Kickstarter from Simon. Marvel Champions? What? Not quite.
Okay, close enough.
Close enough. Hold on. I should have actually. Crap. I brought up the article about it, and I should have brought up the actual page, but oh well. So yeah, they've already raised. Let's see. When this was written, which was 4 days ago or 5 days ago, they were almost at $2 million.
Jeez.
Yeah, there's a lot of people talking about this. All right, hang on. We're gonna actually find the. All right. Yes, right here. We're gonna find the actual Marvel United. This is one of those I've been tempted, but there's a couple of reasons why I'm not.
Yeah, is that the right article?
It's the right article. It's just not the. So last year or the year before, they did the actual Marvel United for the core box, and then now they have the Kickstarter for the X-Men version. So yeah. Oh wow, they're at $2.7 million out of a $300,000 goal. Almost $16,000 backers. At the time we're recording this, you've got 10 days to go. So by the time this posts, you've got about a week. So yeah. The reason I haven't backed this is because A, I've got Marvel Champions, and B, like, there's cool, like, it's got cool, like, Marvel chibi kind of minis, like, think like an Arcadia Quest style.
Oh, yeah, I was looking at them. Yeah,
but, like, the minis don't really do anything. Like, it's basically a card game.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you might be able to. You probably move the minis to like move from one location to another, but it's not a minis game, and that's what I usually like about Simon stuff. But you do get a crap ton of stuff, like the $65 Mutant Pledge gets you like all this stuff. Then there's all the Kickstarter add-ons, and then but like if you want to get everything, if you missed out on the original Marvel United, like it's like $400. Yeah. So you can get the $100 pledge gets you like the the X-Men and like a couple of the expansions. Yeah, there's like a playmat you can get. Yeah. The Ultimate Classic Bundle, $220 for all the original stuff. And then all the expansions, etc., etc. There were some people that griped about this because what happened is last time with the Marvel United, the base box ended up in like Walmart before it got shipped out to backers, and everybody complained to Simon about it. But what they didn't realize is that Simon is in this with Spin Master Games. Spin Master Games does a lot of versions of games that end up in like Walmart and Target. Like there was a game called Santorini that was kickstarted, and then Spin Master kind of took it and made it a little cheaper so that they could sell it at a decent price in like Target. So,
Yeah.
but Spin Master is the one that put, they took their, like they funded the game and then they took their allotment of copies and went ahead and sent them into like Walmart. So I mean, based on what I saw, I don't think CMON had anything to do with it. Now, granted, they made it up to people by adding like an extra exclusive figure. But
yeah, I was gonna say, like, I do remember hearing like there have been a few Kickstarters where it's like, hey, I see this in my local big box store,
yeah.
and it's not in my mailbox yet.
But, and then again, it also, you're talking like an order of magnitude difference between making a core box of something and then the billions of stretch goals that like a CMON production does. So if you are interested in the basic game, because the huge $400 thing doesn't include the original core box, I'm pretty sure. You can get that. You can find, it's only like $40 at your local like Walmart. So that's a pretty good price.
How many days are left on this Kickstarter?
Like 10. So by the time
10
this, so probably about a week by the time the podcast gets posted up.
Ooh, how many stretch goals have they added?
Oh my gosh, so many. I would probably
did the number just go up?
It's possible. I mean, this thing is live. It's a live updater.
Okay, I swore I saw the number go up as you scrolled.
It's entirely possible.
But I mean, if you look there, I mean, it's almost 7 times what they're asking for.
Yeah. And like the average pledge for this is like $130. Which makes sense because that kind of gets you like all the X-Men stuff.
It does.
So I'm also not a huge X-Men fan. Like the 90s cartoon was awesome. The movies were kind of like Like it was good in the fact that we didn't have much in the way of comic book movies, but
right. So So like so X-Men, the very first X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
Did that like, was there anything before that?
Well, defined before that, because you had like the like Batman movies from like the 80s.
Okay, so you had the Batman movies from the 80s.
You had like Superman. But it is one of the, like, if you wanted to make like a modern age of superhero movies, it was either X-Men or Spider-Man, one of the two.
Yeah, one of those.
They were both kind of around that same time.
Yeah, so I mean, if we can just get a good live action Gambit, I'll be happy.
So all right. The next thing, we're gonna go from superheroes to op and away, because we're talking about the op. The Op Games is looking to help the environment. This is just some feel good stuff here. So USA Opoly, which is the other name you've heard of for the Op, the board game and puzzle publisher behind the best-selling party games Telestrations and Blank Slate, has announced a new partnership with One Tree Planted, a nonprofit environmental charity, as a part of the Op's latest initiative to improve our home state of California. The Op Give Back program, which focuses on environmental and community improvements, includes planting 1 tree seedling for every game sold on the op.games website. So just about, I would say 70% of all the game, if you see a licensed version of a game, there's a good chance the Op was involved in some part. Like, if you look at a lot of, like, for something that you're familiar with, like a lot of the Munchkin kind of, like when they would branch out, I'm trying to think. I know the Op did some, but like I think when they did like the Marvel Munchkin one, I think there was a Marvel Munchkin, or like X-Men. I think there was a X-Men Munchkin that was like produced by the Op. Like the Op does a lot of licensing deals with different IPs. And it used to be they were all like trash. Nowadays, things have got a little bit better. Like there's a Harry Potter Hogwarts battle kind of deck building game. Think like Ascension. I don't think you've played it. I don't know if you've played Ascension, but like
No, I haven't.
Or like the DC Comics deck building game, that type of style.
Yeah.
Or Tyrants of the Underdark would be another similar version. That style of gameplay, but there's a Harry Potter version that the op's done that apparently got like rave reviews. I want to say it came out in like 2016, 2017.
Oh.
But yeah, so lots of good stuff there. I mean, it is kind of, we're in a very, very consumerist hobby here. And
Yes.
it gets to me every time that I like open up a new board game and I rip all the shrink wrap off and I look and I'm like, that's bad.
The shrink wrap, the 12 extra pounds of cardboard so you can punch out all the tokens.
And then there's all the shrink wrap and cardboard it takes to get the game to your store or like to a store for you to buy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's messy. I think that somebody that comes up with a way to take shrink wrap and turn it into like card sleeves, that's going to be like huge.
Oh.
Like you recycle all this like shrink wrap into some sort of card sleeve or usable thing like that.
I can see. Yeah.
So this one's really off topic, but I just couldn't. I had to make the joke. Hey Philip, what's the worst? Or excuse me, you know about Beyblades, right? The tops.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the worst thing about making a Beyblade TV show? Dealing with all the spin-offs.
Ba-da-bum.
Oh. And I made a spin-off.
Got him!
I made a spin-off joke because we've got Exploding Minions. So Exploding Kittens is making their first, speaking of licensed copy of a game, they're making their first version, and it's going to be Exploding Minions, which takes the classic Exploding Kittens game and turns it into, featuring the minions from Despicable Me.
Yeah.
Going in retail. So this is like a Gen Con style release. Normally, because it'd be August. I know a lot of people, a lot of like hardcore gamers like poo-poo Exploding Kittens, but it's the game that got me to sign up for Kickstarter. And I still have it. I haven't played it as much but it is a very simple game that you can get played pretty quickly. And Minions kind of like, if the little bit of theme that there is about stuff exploding kind of works with Minions. So,
oh, definitely. Yeah.
I mean, I sent this article to Ashley because she loves Minions, and she was all like, ooh. So if you know people like, say, their cats aren't their thing, but maybe you got a kid that loves Minions, then here you go. You can teach them Exploding Minions, coming soon for $20, 2 to 5 players. All right. This next one is for Thrall, you D&D players. And I said Thrall because this is coming from War Chief Gaming, the company founded by Chris Metzen, the guy who did the voiceover work at Blizzard for Thrall.
Oh, okay.
He's now got his own tabletop company called War Chief Gaming, and their first Kickstarter is out now called Ouroboros, Coils of the Serpent. It is a 5e D&D book. It is at $825,000 out of a $50,000 goal. It's got still most of the month left. Basically, imagine a teenager in the 80s making his, the D&D campaign that he would do, and then this is him as a grown-up now being like, well, I want to make that into a world-setting book. And that's pretty much what you got here, but with like all the resources that someone that's been in the gaming industry for a long time has.
Yeah.
So like awesome artwork, but I've heard a lot of like podcasts and stuff talking about this, especially on the gaming side, because over on the video game side, Chris Metzen is a very popular name over there. But like this has got a lot of like 80s rock and roll kind of inspirants into this thing. Inspiration. Thank you.
You mixed inspiration and experience.
Yeah. So there's a whole bunch of new stuff here, new settings, awesome. I mean, the artwork here is great. It looks like, imagine if you took D&D and mixed it up with some Blizzard entertainment. I mean, some of these shots look like they could be straight out of a Blizzard game almost.
Yeah.
But if you love some D&D, you can get like the digital bundle for like $25. That gets you like the player's guide and the source book. And then for $50 you get the hardcover, and then you can get the like super duper collector's edition with the GM screen and stuff for $125. And then there's even more stuff. There's like item cards and dice sets and there's a whole bunch of stuff here. And there's even a lot of stretch goals. I keep getting notifications every day about different stretch goals and stuff going on. So if you love backing different...
Easier to list what's not here.
Yeah. If you love backing D&D 5e stuff, or if you're just like a fan of WoW, Blizzard Entertainment, that kind of stuff, you're going to want to check this out. So, and then the last one we have it's a different kind of story, but it is still an interesting story. So sit on back and enjoy your Minnesota, as this one has to do with Fantasy Flight, and specifically the Fantasy Flight Game Center, which was a retail store in Minneapolis, across the parking lot from the Asmodee FFG headquarters. It was basically a retail game shop that FFG also would do like releases at and big tournaments at. So I've been here a couple of times. Well, Christian Petersen, the guy that founded FFG and left the company a couple years ago, he now has a new company that bought the Game Center back from FFG. It's going to be called Game Center now, like Game Center with a Z.
Yeah, I saw that and I groaned.
Yeah, I was looking on seeing people's reactions on Reddit, and they were kind of groaning as well. But it means it can still be called the Game Center. Like you could pretty much call it Game Center. But it's a huge 8,000 square foot game store, basically, that opened in 2010. Yeah, 2010. So just another example of something else being shuffled off from FFG, but this time I'm kind of okay with this. With Christian Petersen taking it over, it kind of gives me hope that maybe he could get like the whole company back, like the whole FFG part. Like if they strip mine FFG down to like a little nugget, maybe Christian Petersen can kind of get that nugget back.
Oh, there you go.
So, this only really if you don't live in like the Minneapolis area, this probably doesn't affect you. But if you do live in that area and you haven't gone to the store, it is a really cool store. I've been there, and it's really sweet. They even they have like food and drinks and like beer and stuff there. So, and it's not just like some people are like, oh, cool, maybe it'll open up to other games. No, this is like a full-on game store in the sense that this isn't just like an Asmodee storefront or like an FFG storefront. Like they have walls of games from other companies just as well. Like there's a huge like in fact, right here in the picture I'm on the screen, there's a whole shelf of like Warhammer stuff right behind this dude. So this isn't just like a Fantasy Flight Games kind of thing, and them's the news. So, Mr. Herbig, how's it going?
Mr. Renshaw, we're just over here surviving.
Yep.
That's really what we're doing. Playing some games. Destiny is doing the Guardian games.
Ooh. Is that like the
event.
Olympics, but for...
Yeah. So you go through and you collect your medals and you put them in the big trophy case at the tower, the main social hub, and whichever class deposits the most medals wins.
Nice.
Yeah. So far it's hunters, but then so there's an exotic weapon you can get during it's as soon as you start the event, the main event, you get the quest. Bam, And this quest was neat. This quest auto completes. Normally, you have to like go into your quest page and click on a quest to complete it. No, this thing auto completes and dumps the weapon into your inventory so you can use it immediately.
Ooh.
It's a cool heavy machine gun that when you aim down the sights, the barrel starts spinning up, and then you get a shield around you. So you got a little extra protection. And then there's so exotic weapons have these things. Most of them have these things called catalysts. It's just an upgrade that you have to. You can get. I mean, they just drop randomly as you're playing the game. Some of them are quests. Some of them are just like. I was in some mission last month, and I'm just barreling through these guys because I got my auto rifle that reloads every time you pick up ammo. So I'm just like, bah, I'm killing everything in my path. And then all of a sudden, this like, boom, this yellow triangle shape pops out of this guy, and I walk over it, and it's like, boom, you just acquired the catalyst for this weapon. I'm like, oh, that's freaking awesome. But this catalyst, it's a mission, and you get it. And someone was making the joke that the reason so Titans, Hunters, Warlocks, those are 3 classes. Hunters were just dominating. I mean, day 1, day 2, day 3, they are completely throwing everyone in the dust. And then day 4 hit, and they dropped down to 2nd place, I think. And it was like, oh yeah, all the Hunters got their catalyst, and they just stopped. Going back to your regular scheduled programming. But yeah, that's what we're doing. We're trying to see which class is the best.
All
along
right.
with the,
Nothing's gonna ever bring you down. So, oh, by the way, so the unfortunate part is by throwing up by having the screen up there, I didn't have the chat up, so we missed there's a bunch of chats. So we got Hoser 40K and Kabuki Kid in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
So hey to both of y'all. Let's see.
Oh wow, there was so much talking.
There was so much talking. That's why I was like, oh snap. X-Men is the one superhero book I used to read, but I have an aversion to super deformed minis. Yeah, the chibi style is kind of like a make or break for our people. Like you either like it or you don't. One of the favorite superhero movies is still the '78 Superman movie. Yeah, that makes sense, and the one with the best score. And then I see OP and think of Ocean Pacific. Is that very 1980s of me? It could be also 90s because I could, I could see Ocean Pacific. Like if I didn't know, if I just saw OP somewhere, I probably would think of Ocean Pacific. And I definitely identify more as a 90s kid than I do the 80s. Even though I was born in the 80s. Then he mentions talking about and I was thinking about this too when we brought it up, talking about the shrink wrap. Do you like the shrink wrap on a game or the little kind of... So have you seen some games will have like stickers on them instead of like full shrink wrap?
Where I have not seen games with it,
okay,
but I have seen other products in my daily life where they just have like that. Some of them have like the 2-part cardboard tab that holds the box closed, and then there's a piece of tape covering that tab too.
No,
the little circle tape.
Kind of like this. So basically, a lot of board game companies have started to eliminate using shrink wrap. Instead, they'll take these like circular plastic stickers, basically, and just tape the 4 sides, or like stick them on the 4 sides. Funko does this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
I got one.
We're talking about the same thing.
We are. Yeah, this is just a little bit different. But yeah, it's basically just taping them. In fact, here, like Funko does it. I don't know if I can get it, if it'll show up on camera, but you can see these little stickers on each of the edges, and it keeps them from having to use plastic over the whole thing. Camera, get it back in focus now.
Yep. Circles, squares, whatever shape they decide.
Something like that.
Yep.
I don't like taking these circles off, because just sometimes you get like all that sticker residue,
or they horribly rip the box.
But I do appreciate, because usually it's people trying to be more environmentally friendly, so I appreciate that. So I prefer shrink wrap, but I don't. Like, and Rusted Beetle's in the chat now too, saying the same thing basically. the
That's why
adhesive
we
could be
follow
difficult
rule
to
number
remove.
9.
Yeah. So, but there's stuff you can get to actually remove it though. There's
Yeah, a razor blade. You just slice
well,
right down the seam.
yeah, but you have a
Done.
chance of ruining the box. There's a substance called Goo Gone that'll just take it right off. I haven't gotten any yet down here. But Hoser posted shrink wrap for the win. The stickers are annoying. The box sleeve on Last Villainous was incredibly tight. Oh, and then when we were talking about Ouroboros, he was saying, is that an acceptable or they were saying is an acceptable variant of Ouroboros. Never saw that before. And that's
with the A, that was different.
I entirely believe that it's so that they can trademark it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it takes it from just an idea to like something. I don't think it's an accepted version. I think it's just a branding thing.
Yeah.
Once again, have not played.
What the hell was it?
I've not played any games, but I have been buying and getting a bunch of stuff. So I had a funny incident happened a couple weeks ago. It was about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Ashley found out that, and this is pro tip for anybody. So, you know, when you get like, say you get like a $50 credit or a $50 gift card from somewhere, like the Visa kind. All right. And you always get down to like a couple, like $1 or maybe like 70, some weird number, like 79 cents left on the gift card. You know what I'm talking about?
Because I saw this post, and so finish your story and I'll tell you my thoughts on that.
Okay. So Ashley found out that you can take those gift cards and load up your Amazon balance with that, basically transferring that gift card balance to your Amazon account. So you just add the card on your account, and then you do like add money to Amazon balance. And then if it's like $1.37, you can put 137 and add, and now the gift card's at 0 and you've got money in your Amazon account. So Ashley had like a handful of just from Christmases and birthdays past gift cards with like various money on them. She ended up getting like $20 total on there. And then I'll continue the story, but go ahead and tell me what your thoughts are.
Okay, so because I realized like when I first started getting those, like those are preloaded cards.
Yeah.
I have actually never used it for less than its full face value. I've always had to do split payments where I use that for the bulk, and then like on my bank card they see some charge for like 87 cents.
Right. So if you get like a $50 card, you just make sure that you spend that you're at least spending $50. Yeah. I mean, that's one way to do it. And I have definitely done that before, especially if it's a gift card at like a store.
Oh, yep.
Because especially that makes split payments even easier. But the point of the story was, so that was just a pro tip just out there for anyone, because I know that's just a life hack that could be helpful. But because of that, I was going through some gift cards, and I found like I had a gift card that still had $100 on it.
All right.
That
What'd
back,
you buy?
So it was back when I was going to be building the PC, and so I had spent some of the money on there getting some other stuff, and I had been saving the $100 to upgrade the PC, and then never used it because then I ended up using tax return stuff on it. So I was like, sweet, $50 or sweet $100 for me. So last year, Fantasy Flight came out with these Investigator decks for Arkham Horror, the card game, where each one was like an individual deck. So kind of going along the Marvel Champions route of you could just buy this deck and then play with just it, like in somebody else's game. Like you need the core set to play the game, but like if you were somebody new, you didn't have to buy the whole game. You could just be like, oh, well, I want to play a different character. I can just buy this character and play their deck in my friend's game, kind of thing. So in a sense, like I run the games when I play the games with like Jimmy, Corey, and Mike, if for whatever reason one of them had like an itch to like, oh, I want to play this guy, seems cool, they could just go and grab one of these and then bring it that night that we were playing, and like they had a full deck ready to go. Well, they also had just some great cards in them, but they sold out like immediately. But they happened to be right in stock when when I had all that money, so I got all 5.
There you go.
So there's one for each class. So I am almost at 100% on Arkham Horror, the card game stuff. Finally.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
I always seem to be behind because I'm catching up on stuff as it gets reprinted and things. So I'm still not there yet because there's like a return to box I don't have and a couple of the novella promo cards that are like new investigators. So I got those in, and then some of the other money I used along with I was talking to you with some of the other went to pay for my anniversary gift to myself, which I can nope, not that one. There
Rusty
we go.
Beetle asks, what about Barkham Horror?
I do have Barkham Horror. I have not played it yet, but I do have it. So yeah, this I got this present to myself, which was a bunch of the Team Covenant boards for Arkham Horror over here on the side, and then Marvel Champions over here on the left side. So I only had one board for me, the Forgotten Age one that's all green, and the other 3 people that play, they're all like, we don't really care. But at some point, I was like, at some point, I'm gonna get a full set of 4. So I looked on there, and they had a Carcosa one, which is this nice, pretty gold one, and then the Circle Undone themed one, which is all like witches and stuff. So that's the gray one. And then literally 2 days after I bought these, they announced a new board. So I bought it then. So in a couple of days from now, I should be getting the newest board, which is like Dream Eaters, and it's very similar to this metal one, but it's almost like a pearlescent kind of color. One of those. I'll see when it gets here, but it on the pictures online, it gave it kind of look where like if you move it back and forth, like the color would shift slightly.
Okay.
I don't know how well that actually shows up, but so yeah, and then the Marvel Champions ones I'm going to be using for like the main baddie, and then the main scheme up there. So give me reason to play Marvel Champions again here soon. And then they talk about biodegradable shrink wrap. That would be cool. But over time, the game just like eats away.
Yeah, over time, or it
like if it's sitting on a shelf for so long.
Yeah, so Rusted Beetle had put up. He's like, shrink wrap help protects from minor spills during transport. It's like, what's your activator for the biodegradable part on the on that shrink wrap? If it's water, you just screwed yourself.
Yeah. I got the Kabuki Kid. I got the Arkham Horror, the LCG, as a gift a few months back. I've yet to play it, and I know the bug will bite me to want more. If you definitely want to try it out, there's a good tabletop simulator. That's what we've been using to play. There's a good mod for that works a lot of the mechanics and stuff with you. And then also, let's see, I ordered. Rusty Beetle says he ordered Cobble and Fog and Jaws of the Lion removable sticker and map set. Well, speaking of Unmatched, and because I say that because Unmatched always gets compared to Funkoverse, I saw something a couple weeks ago, and I was like, I have to have this. This has to be a thing. Philip, you may have seen it already if you looked on the stream. But
okay.
So there was a special thing that they came out with. So at the Funko Spring Convention, I think it was last year or the last time they did this, is when they did the small like Kool-Aid Man expansion. Well, guess what the one was for this year? I am the terror that flaps in the night.
Darkwing Duck.
Yep. I've got a Darkwing Duck Funko Pop for Funkoverse.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I sent my contact at Funko Games. I was like, I need this. This needs to be a thing. I will review it. Please send it to me. Thank you very much. So, by the way, his abilities are Let's Get Dangerous, Daring Duck of Mystery, and Incredibly Resilient.
Yeah.
And his special ability is I Am the Terror That Flaps in the Night. Of course. So, but with that, they sent me a bunch of other stuff that they've got. Because one of the other things I asked for is like, since they're sending me, since I'm asking for stuff, I was like, I never got the. There was a new DC pack that had Wonder Woman and Cheetah that came out around when Wonder Woman 84 was supposed to come out. So it was like last June or whatever. So they sent that to me as well. And then these other two, I didn't even know were a thing, but they sent them to me as well. We have Disney's Alice in Wonderland. So there's another 2-pack set that's got Alice and it's got the Red Queen. Is that right? Red Queen?
Yep.
Queen of Hearts.
Queen of Hearts.
Yeah, so you got that. And then they sent me, I guess it's their newest 4-figure set, which is Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas.
Nice.
So it has
you're
Jack.
gonna have Sally. You're gonna have Skellington.
Yep, Jack Skellington, Sally, Oogie Boogie, and Dr. Finkelstein.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Not a big, huge fan of The Nightmare Before Christmas, but I know Chloe loves the movie, so I figured this might get her interested in playing.
So many people are. Did you see the memes that came out like the Monday after Easter?
No, I don't think so.
Like Easter's over. You know what season it is now? Like, Halloween. No, guys, it's April. It's
hey,
April.
man.
This is Halloween. This is Halloween.
And then the last thing I got, and I'm pretty sure you've played this. I got my Kickstarter in for that huge Railroad Inc. Kickstarter that happened last year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So this Mamma Jamma, this big huge Mamma Jamma, and I've already opened it up and fit in so over here on the other side, I've got my red and blue versions of the game. And then on the far side, there's the new versions of the game, which is the Railroad Inc. Challenge.
Green and yellow.
The green and yellow, which apparently the challenge is basically, it comes with cards that have these challenges on them. And it's supposed to have some player interaction because you want to be the first person to achieve the challenges. So
okay.
It's not so much heads down looking at your own board. You have to kind of pay attention to what everybody else is doing.
Ah.
And then there's this giant purple box here in the center that this is all the stretch goals and additional stuff that came with. So if I open it, that's about to fall out. So first of all, there's all these different, each one of these little boxes in here is a 4-dice expansion pack. So there's let's see, Electricity, Arcade, Sky, Underground, Engineering, Eldritch, and Futuristic. I don't even know what some of those are going to be. So it's just going to be different versions. Did you play, I think me and you played the Lake version one time, didn't we?
Yep, we played the Lake. That was pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's stuff like that where they add a few die, they add a few rules kind of thing.
Yep.
But then that's not all that's in here. Is it this? Nope, that's not it. Or is it? Then you got these things, this is the epic Railroad Inc. board, where this is 4 times the size of the normal Railroad Inc. board.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So now you can really go to town with and I got I think I have 4, and then I got an extra one because I backed within the first 24 hours or whatever. So 5.
Are the squares still the same size as the normal board?
No. So this side, so the one side does look like they're a little bigger, but they're still on par. It's got some extra boards here, so I could pull that out. So
looks like there's two. Yeah, that's.
Sorry, everything's kind of banded together so it fits in the dang box. All right. So now I've got a comparison. So I would say it's about 25% bigger on the most condensed side. Okay. But if you flip it over into this one really big side, it's just a blown up version of the regular Railroad Ink board. Like the squares are, that's easily got to be like twice the size of a normal
Okay.
railroad. But I mean, if you're somebody like, I could see this with like somebody that can't see very well, you know, like somebody that's visually impaired or maybe like grandparents or something. This might be a lot more appealing to draw on than this little tiny board.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that.
Especially if like someone that's playing it a lot. So
Okay, so what we do is we grab all the big boards, we play on the quote unquote big side,
mm-hmm.
the one that has like more squares on it.
Yep.
And then we just take all of the dice.
I was thinking
roll
about, I
them
was
all
like,
at once.
I bet Philip's gonna want to play all of them.
Yes, we're gonna have the lake's gonna have a volcano popping out of it.
Ah, that's a good
With-
idea. Kabuki Kids, like, you need giant dice too.
Oh. Yeah, the lake's going to have a volcano coming out of it, and we're going to have futuristic, so there's going to be a spaceship, like spaceport somewhere.
Yeah. Now, if you're like me, the one I posted on Twitter when I first got this thing fits really, like when I put, so when it came, where the red and the blue versions are was just a spacer, just a little cardboard spacer. So I pulled that out and put mine in, and it fit like really tight. Like one of those, like, it's kind of bulging at the seams where I'm like, if I do this enough, it's probably going to rip. But
Yeah.
I went on Board Game Geek, and somebody mentioned that if you take the big, huge cube with all the expansion stuff and all the, you know, the giant boards, and you just rotate it like clockwise, basically, then you get like an extra. It gives you just like a millimeter difference, and that just kind of makes the world of
Enough
difference.
to relieve the pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now everything easily slides in and out. This box is so cool too. Like,
That is pretty
it's a
wicked looking.
magnetic close, of course, just like the rest of them are.
Yeah.
And it's like, of all the games I've gotten in recently, this will probably end up getting it played first, just because my wife and I love Railroad Ink, so there's a better chance of it getting played.
It's such a fun game.
And it's pretty easy too. And like, it's also a good, like, hey, I got 10 minutes, let's play a game.
Hey, did they ever get the app finalized?
They're working on it. So that was one of the more, I think if you go on Steam, you can add it to your wish list.
There's Railroading Dice on the Play Store.
I don't know about the Play Store.
It's not an official app from the makers of the game, though.
No.
Yeah.
So Railroad Ink Challenge. Why did it bring up Trains Railroad Simulator 2019?
Because you typed in railroad.
Yeah. Well, no, but like it had the thing, and then it picked something else instead. Yeah. So release date summer 2021. I guess I could bring it over to this tab and show it off. There we go. Railroad Ink Challenge. Oh, look, it's got like little animations and stuff of like the trains, and that's fancy. Yeah, I would imagine this comes to Steam first, and maybe eventually they make a iOS or Android app, just because it's so much easier to make a game on like a PC version of a game first.
Oh yeah, it's I mean, because you're coding these things mostly on PCs anyway. So
yeah. And a lot of times, once you get the game the way you like it, then you can easily, well, not easily, but it's easier to port it versus when you're trying to come up with the UI and everything and the way you want it to look from the beginning.
Yep.
So, yeah. I should be getting this for free because I added it. Well, not for free, but I should be getting this because I added it in the pledge or in the Kickstarter. Did you?
I did not. I didn't back anything.
Okay. Well, it was
Railroad Ink.
I know you didn't back like the game, but I knew you were excited when you heard that they were making the app. So I didn't know if you had just at least like added that kind of thing. But yeah, you can
didn't do that.
You can add it to your wish list so that you get notified when it releases.
Yeah. Rusty Beetle had to go light on the Kickstarters, he says. And Kabuki Kid's like, nope, I went heavy on stuff.
I mean, heck yeah. Let's
I mean,
see. Just went heavy on Robinson Crusoe Deluxe and V Commandos. What is V Commandos? That sounds cool.
I don't know. We're gonna search that. That did sound kind of cool.
So that was like $400 between the two projects. That sounds like, so that's the thing is all of these Kickstarters, like the Railroad Inc., the Steampunk Rally, and then like the Sea of Legends stuff, that was all within like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of each other. Because I was making the joke, it was like every week was like a different Kickstarter, or it was like every 2 weeks. It was like every paycheck, a different $100 Kickstarter was coming out. It's a solo stealth game, apparently.
What, V Commandos?
Yeah.
So I'm on BGG, and it says it's a cooperative board game.
Well, that could. Did you look on Kickstarter?
I did not look on Kickstarter. Hang on. I have V Commandos 2016. Yeah, I should probably look at the dates there, Philip.
Yeah. Other than that, it's just been a lot of World of Warcraft. I got a lot of the gear out of normal for my mage, and our team was like, we really need a healer, and they were advertising in like the guild in the guild Discord, and so I was like, I have a paladin. I've been tanking him, but I'll just make a healer. So I made a healing class, and I've been like, first thing I did is I like healed, because I was like, I haven't healed since the original World of Warcraft.
Let's figure out how to do this again.
Yeah, so what do I need to be doing? And then I basically built up, so I started off doing like normal dungeons, and then I did heroic dungeons, and then a mythic level 0 dungeon. And then I was like, okay, now let me try LFG, or, looking for raid, the LFR tool. And then I was like, okay, guys, I think I'm ready. And then actually did the normal raid with the guild. And I've been doing, like the past 2 weeks now, I've been raiding with the paladin healer. Last week, managed to down Sire Denathrius, the last boss again. This time, I actually survived until almost the end. I think I died at like the last second. In fact, it got funny because this time, because I'm the healer, I'm helping the other healers help keep people alive, and especially the tanks. And people are starting to die off as you get. A lot of us lasted pretty well into that fight, so that was really good. But towards the very end, just people start dropping off. And then it finally gets to the point where we got him down to like maybe 5% health left, and both main tanks go down. And so it's like, well, all right, chaps, let's do this. And I just jump in there with the paladin and just start wailing on him. And like this other healer that was a druid started doing it too. We just managed to just start I think at that point somebody finally had I think because shamans have like a resurrect mid battle, like a reincarnate or something like that.
Yeah, I do remember that.
So I think for like the last like 2%, we managed to get one of the tanks back up to finish it. But it was like, all right, well, most everybody's dead, but I'm wearing a bunch of plate mail, so let's go do this.
Right?
And then we did the WoW Classic quote unquote stream.
Yep.
We recorded it like a stream, but we put it on, or we just recorded offline, and that's up on the first kind of 30 minutes of that is up on the YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, that was fun. We should do that again.
We do need to do that again, and this week there'll be more of that coming out. We're still in the first 30 minutes where I'm running around punching things because I don't have a weapon. We're still in all that. We haven't even gotten to the us dying palooza at the Yetis.
Yeah, that was good times.
And then that guy calling us a bunch of nerds.
What guy?
You don't remember the guy in chat that was like, "Wow, good job, nerds."
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
I do.
that. Something in that regard. If you want to know more, you'll have to keep an eye out on the YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's like nerds. We're all playing World of Warcraft. Shut your mouth.
I think we made that kind of joke is what basically came out to. That's where that came to. So, that's unfortunately that's the gaming that I have for today. That's a lot though.
So So in Destiny, the main bosses of like your strikes and dungeons and raids and stuff, they a lot of them have. So sometimes if you have a high enough power level, we call it one phasing. You can just wail on the guy as hard as you can, and he doesn't get to do any of his like mid battle breaks. Do the WoW bosses have that kind of stuff? Like when they get to a certain percentage, like they'll become immune to damage and something happens, and then you got to deal with it, and then you can go back to fighting the boss?
Yes, sometimes.
Okay.
Depends on the boss, but a lot of them do that. Like, for instance, in Sire Denathrius, the last end boss of the one raid that's out right now, when he gets to 70%, he becomes immune to damage. But at the same time, you can't do anything because he basically force grabs everybody and kind of throws you against the wall and then drags everybody down to this like second level. So and that starts quote unquote phase 2.
Okay.
But there are other battles, like there are other enemies and other fights where like they'll have a phase change where they become immune and you have to do this other thing to kind of make them able to take damage again.
Okay. Yeah.
Like actually the fight right before Sire is this like Stone Legion Generals fight, which is basically these two gargoyles that trade off with each other. And in between the trade-off, the guy that's leading you through the dungeon gets kind of like paralyzed, and you have to bring him these little anima balls. So when they transition, they become immune to damage, and you have to gather up all these anima balls and give them to this one guy who then does this kind of like Ultima break, which kind of knocks them back, and suddenly you can start damaging them again.
Gotcha. Okay.
Sort of. I'm probably butchering that really badly.
No, it makes sense to me. I know what you're talking about.
But
that's always been that's kind of a goal sometimes, is like there are, and because a lot of this, so I mean we're basically end game now in Destiny.
But you've been that for a while.
Yeah, we've been that for a while with this season. So like we're end gamed. We've I mean they were introducing like 1 or 2 new things every week, but then you plow through those on Tuesday and then you're just back to the end game grind again. So like, okay, if we're in this strike, this guy, he has 3 phases no matter what. Oh, but if we go into this one over here, hey, if we all focus fire hard enough, we can one phase this guy. And, 20 seconds, this guy's down, and now we've just won the mission.
Speaking of one phase, I had I was bored the other day and not wanting to get involved into anything big in World of Warcraft. So I decided to go do some like old dungeons and raids in like Lich King. And there was one that I hadn't done before, and I went, and it was one of those, it's like one of the other ones we've done where there's just like a dragon in the middle you just need to go attack.
Oh yeah.
But this one, he has like a second or third phase where he teleports everybody to this other thing. So I go up and do like a fire blast, and his health goes all the way, but he's still there. And then it quickly goes from phase 1 to phase 2 to phase 3. He disappears, and you click on this portal. And as soon as I click on the portal, he appears and dies real fast.
That was so much fun being. Well, I mean, obviously they've scaled everything back, but like being max level, I'm like, oh, let me go to this. I'm level 100. Let me go to this level 40 dungeon.
Yeah.
Let me just solo it and like, walk next to the guy and kill him.
Yeah, that's kind of I do some of that every now and then, but I've been trying to get I've been getting some rep up to try and get this like to get a mount in this one area that's kind of annoying because it's like the only place in the game that you can't mount up because it's kind of like hell. And it's like your mount's too scared to answer your call or whatever. But there's a couple of different ways that you can actually get mounts in there. And so I've been trying to do some rep farming to do that. And I finally did it, but now I have to go grind to get like 200 of these items so that I can you basically make this mount. You basically are making a hellhound is what like a mechanical hellhound is the way it works. So
Okay.
you go and farm like all the metal and materials you need for it, and then you build the shell, but it doesn't work until it needs something to power it, and you basically go find like a stray soul and like bind it to the metal. Well, but like the soul's like willing to come because it's trapped in hell, and you're like, "Hey, stick with me, kid." And it's like, "All right, cool."
We're gonna go do stuff.
Yeah. And so but it's like it's a wolf spirit, so it gets bound to the mechanical hellhound basically. And then you get a full maw mount is what it's called, or maw walker, whatever it is. And it's pretty cool, but it's a heck of a grind. And it's going to be pointless because in 9.1, they're going to allow all mounts because everybody complains so much about how much they don't like it. But at the same time, that could be like July, August before that happens.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And once you make the mount, it becomes available on all your characters account wide.
Yeah.
So it's like, I'm going to do this because there's a couple of alts that I have now that are stuck at 50 because I'm like, I'm not going to do the intro mall stuff until I have a mount. I've done it like 4 times already. Oh, that was another thing. I got my hunter to level 60, the one I do for PvP. So now I have 4 level 60s.
I gotta figure out what all the specs are again and remake my Death Knight.
Well, I mean, there's a website called Icy Veins that does all that.
That's right, Icy Vein. That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Yes.
Also, Wowhead has some guides too, so you can bounce between those.
Icy Veins.
It basically goes to figure out which spec you want, and then just go find the guide for that spec.
Yeah. I see now. Icy Veins and Wowhat. Like 6 years ago, I would have known those. Like
Yeah.
They would.
Oh, and for the record, we got in order to do the WoW Classic, I got Philip a card so that he could play, and it gives him the option now to play WoW retail version as well. So.
Yeah, I jumped back into retail and I was like, "Oh man, look at there's so much stuff." I still had Draenor follower quests.
Yep.
That were just sitting there.
Yep, same. And the great part is that like you can't even finish because of the level squish. You can't even finish all the stuff before you get to like where you can do Shadowlands.
Yeah.
Like if you go like on so many of my characters, it's like I go do one piece of stuff I missed and manage to get to level 50. So Kabuki Kid talks about Ghosts of Tsushima. I've been hearing that. It's been his video game been their video game recently, really loving it. I keep hearing about that. It's a new PS5 game.
It's got it well so I think I saw a video of like this guy it was on TikTok, obviously, because that's my life now.
Yeah.
This guy, it was something like he jumped off this roof and every archer in this camp kept sniping him out of the air. And I think it was that game. I'm not 100, yeah. But like he wouldn't die either.
Nice.
He had some I get some like really awesome armor or health regen or something.
All right, man. That's probably we've been at this for like an hour, so that's probably a good stopping point. We can make sure to get
that's our show, everybody.
That way we have time to get a couple of minutes of bonus episodes in before I go do raid again. All right, let's roll that beautiful bean footage.
That's been our show, everybody. We hope you enjoy what we're doing here. If you want to check us out live, we record every other Sunday most of the time when we feel like it. boardsandswords.com/live. That's going to have the schedule. It's got the link to all of our streaming channels. If you want to check out the other things that we have done in the past, check out boardsandswords.com. You'll see the link to The Dirtbags of Holding. That's a live play podcast. We take all these amazing RPGs that all these designers have come up with, and we wreck them for your listening enjoyment.
All right, you can email us comments and questions at feedback@boardsandswords.com. We're on social media, facebook.com/boardsandswordspod, twitter.com/boardsandswords is how you can find me on Twitter. And Philip is at Phil the Dirtbag. And then also on Instagram, I forgot to change it in here, but I'm Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram. I just didn't like the way the other one sounded. And I can't get Boards and Swords because somebody else has it. So Boards and Swords Chris on Instagram. And I'm on TikTok. I post a lot of board game funny TikToks. I think they're funny. You should think they're funny. They're right in the realm of the dad joke vibe. So Boards and Swords on TikTok there. I may compile some of them and put them on YouTube because I know there's some people that avoid social media and TikTok in specific. So lastly, this podcast is part of Punchboard Media. For other great gaming podcasts, make sure you check out punchboardmedia.com. And thank you for listening. Remember, we got a Patreon, patreon.com/Boards and Swords to help support the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another show. And remember, And in the meantime, remember that every gamer has a story, and the best ones end in Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Ba ba ba. Oh, nice. Nailed it. All right. Good night, folks.